I think a lot of it comes down to persistence, you know? How bad do I want it? And what am I willing to sacrifice for it? How far am I willing to go? And will I risk it all to gain it all? Persistence. There is nothing like it. So I believe that whenever God gives us a talent or skill or an ability, that he walks away to see what we're going to do with it, you know? And when he comes back, as a matter of speaking, 2 or 3 years later, and I have worked on my talent or skill and have persisted, I believe that God says that, this person has been diligent with what I gave them. So I'm now going to give them a little bit more. And that is when our minds are open to new ideas and new creativity that we cannot think of on our own. And we get excited about those ideas and the possibilities. And I believe that God walks away again to see what we're going to do with the new set of ideas and creativity that he has given us. And when he comes back, as a matter of speaking, 5 or 7 years later, and I have built on those ideas and have persisted, I believe that God says that, this person has been even more diligent this time around than last. So I'm now going to give them more than I gave them before. And that is when our minds are open to even better ideas, better creativity, new ways of doing it. What was harder before now becomes easier to do. And we get excited. We leap in our spirits because something new has entered our minds. Something new has entered our imaginations that we cannot have thought of on our own. And I believe that God walks away again to see what we're going to do with this newfound creativity that he's blessed us with. Now, hear me. When God comes back around the third time, this is 8, 9, 10 years later, and I have built my work, I have built my material, and I have my vision down, I believe that God says that now this person has proven to me that they really want it. And that is when the gates of fame and fortune are open to us. If you study many people who've made it, they have more or less gone through this process of persistence. So I don't have $1 million in my bank account, and I don't have 1 million followers on Instagram or Twitter. But I think understanding this principle of persistence and reward, it's something that should keep all of us going. There are times when God will set us 5 or 10 years ahead like that. There are times when God may choose to catapult us into our destiny. But more often than not, and in my experience, it is a slow grind. And I believe the reason for this is because God uses this time to build our character. One of the things that I'm learning as I'm going through this process myself now is how much respect I have for those who've done it. August Wilson, Arthur Miller, Tennessee Williams, Maya Angelou, the writers that I admire. If you've spent time on the keyboard from midnight until morning because you don't want the idea to free you, because you don't want to lose your rhythm and momentum, because you don't want to lose God. If you spent years in a cold room trying to piece together something, then you learn to have respect for it no matter who does it. But I believe there comes a moment when you've been working on something for some time, even years, when it all comes together, when it all falls into place, That's when God gives you the keys. That's when God finally shows you what he's been doing all along. Up until that point, he has been showing you glimpses of it. But now he shows you the full picture through your persistence. I'm excited. I believe that my good and my bad will come together to serve a purpose.